You know those friends that you don't really talk to that suddenly come back into your life? That's literally what Luxury Gaming 10 was. And I think that's the best possible way to explain this. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on more excellent content. Today we're going to be analyzing the top breakdown for Luxury Gaming 10. Now remember, this was a 3v3 event, so people might not really like these results, but I think they're very interesting nonetheless. So let's say hello to some old friends, shall we? So I say that this event was literally the welcome home to old friends. And looking at the analyzation from yesterday's breakdown, things still hold true here in Top Cut. So we had 16 Virtual Worlds still holding true. Virtual World was the highest representation yesterday for decks chosen out of the 348 players. And puts us at what? 11 Drytron variants as well. Hey, look at that. We're still holding our own here. So Virtual World passed Drytron in pure representation this event. Now the interesting thing here, Dragon Link has made a huge impact back on this format. You know, I told you, it was just going to take time for these Dragon Link players to figure out how to play this deck. Trust me, they spend more hours than we can count perfecting the metagame. Alright? And they did it. I'm very proud of them. And we also had 4 Eldritch variants here. 2 Pure, 1 Dragoon, and 1 Dogmatica. And then we also had, in the Eldritch variants, we also had 2 Zodiac ones as well. And one Dogmatic Eldritch as well. So it's what, 7 Eldritch variants sitting at the dinner table? Now here's the interesting thing about this though. Dragon Link and Zodiac Eldritch has been nowhere to be seen. Dragon Link just disappeared. They lost the Buster Whelp. They went into hiding. They ran away. All of a sudden, they're back this event. And they stormed it, by the way. Oh, same thing with Zodiac Eldritch. We were looking at the extravaganza, what was it, 2 weeks ago? And there was Zodiac Eldritch just fell off. All right, like you had Sky Striker Eldritch of all things that came back into the woodwork here, but Eldritch Zodiac was gone. All of a sudden, Zodiac Eldritch and Dragon Link were the 2 winners from this event. We'll look at those lists here in a second. We had 2 Adamantipator Praying Kids. Does that mean that Adamantipator's back? Yes, it does. The Praying Kids engine actually has helped this deck dramatically. Now, I did talk about yesterday, talking about time rules are a little bit different in between Konami events and this. You'll probably see a higher Praying Kids representation for actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Events versus something like this. But cool thing with this is, though, this is just a little splash of Praying Kids, just to help you kind of link up and climb faster. Now, we did have 2 Dogmatica invoked. I also said this yesterday. Looking at that pure representation for Dogmatica invoked overall, I was shocked. All right, like I haven't seen this much invoked in a hot minute. I'm still shocked even looking at this that 2 of them made it in. All right, we also have 2 Dogmatica dolls. That doesn't really surprise me all that much. Dolls, like I said, they're kind of the bug or the rogue pick for a lot of players. A lot of players cannot handle a window right now, man. It's actually kind of hilarious. Like, sticking a window on the field is death for certain decks, just because they can't handle it. Alright? And even if you can out it, what if they just make a second window on you? Like, what are you going to do? Nothing. Our rogue picks for this, we had 1 Burning Abyss make it in. Cool. 1 Dinosaur. Now, I think dinosaurs have really finally gone extinct for this format. No pun intended there, but it's almost like the things that they do are prehistoric. Granted, when Mist was running around last format, ruining days, dinosaurs had a good matchup against the top deck. All of a sudden, you come here, it's like, dinosaurs don't have a good matchup against anything right now, alright? So, they've been pushed so far back, it's not even funny. So, it's kind of interesting when you look at that. When a deck has a good matchup, players hate Misk. All of a sudden, Misk is kind of bad. So the deck got pushed back. We also had 1 Phantom Knight. Alright. And then Tristan was playing Tri-Brigade Lyricalisk. And he was the only one to make it into Top Cut playing that strategy. And I will look at that later on in the day here. Because I thought that would get its own video. Because it's kind of interesting when you look at that. So your overall breakdown, Data is basically what we expected for the format. Virtual World surpassing Drytron is definitely interesting. Zodiac Eldritch coming back out of the fray is absolutely amazing. And seeing that the Dragon Link players look like they figured out something about frickin' time, guys. I know you guys are like the biggest 500 IQ people in the world, all right? But you need to speed up this overall process here because you guys are just taking your sweet, sweet time on that. So, deck list for this video. So, Mr. Christian Thomas and the Paulo Conglavis both played the same Zodiac variant for first place. Now, remember this was a 3v3 event, so you can stack your team however you want. I do see that we got Yo Bunny Blast in this build, which means that players are going to be like, oh, really? I gotta go pick up Bunny Blast now? No, they were bought out like 2 days ago, so, I mean, good luck spending your whole dollar. I also see down here, we have some really, I think it's a Mistaken Arrest down there in the side deck. Don't quote me on that, or it might be shared right. It's one of the two. It's very, very good addition for this. Vampire Sucker also in the extra deck is kind of spicy, actually. I like that. I don't think we've seen Vampire Sucker seeing play yet in these variants. I think a lot of people just discounted them or like, what's the point in doing this? But it does give you a little bit more of an edge in the mirror match and gives you some draw power, which is very, very nice. Now keep in mind here, we're not trying to do cheesy BS with Dragoon. I mean, you could if you really wanted to. I just feel like you're trying to bulk down too many bricks at that point in the metagame. So, very, very interesting nonetheless to see what these decks are pumping out now, at least in this. It looks like that they've definitely perfected this, at least to something working. Next up, we have Mr. Gabriel Netz, Dragon Maid, and by Dragon Maid I mean it's Dragon Link, but you're using the Dragon Maids to search for tidying, and you're going to use tidying to be a broken engine, and you're going to have access to, well, just a nice little Dragon Maid package. The whole main purpose of this is it helps you with your link climbing potential. Alright, and I'm very happy to see once again that Dragon Link looks like they figured this crap out, alright? So kudos to Dragon Link. Something workable is a right step in the right direction. I'm glad to also see that it's not like a 45 card variant at this point in time. Also, the double Heavenly Spheres in this is actually kind of cute. I think a lot of players were just on the one train for a little while, but looks like Gabrielle got something really, really special going on here. So I would honestly say to try this. For what I know, Gabrielle is a veteran at topping these events. Now let's see here. We also have, this was actually interesting. So, God, I don't even want to pronounce his name. Mi Davato Si Vinicio was his team here. And it was, what, Giorgio Nadana? So, the big thing I want to show with this is a Virtual World with that stupid Spirit of the Pharaoh. Alright? So, this is the cheesy hand loop shenanigans that I always keep hearing about. People like, hey, Robbie, cheesy hand loop, it's viable. Right? You always hear about it, you're like, now wait a minute, you're always talking about this, but does it ever actually come up? Well, one squeaked into Top Cut out of this event, which means that you finally have an idea of how the list looks at this point in time. So, if you want to mess around with your opponent, play this, alright? Loop their hand away from them. Have some fun. Alright? There's no imperms to stop you this format. Just take all of their cards for yourself. Alright? It'll be a fun time, they say. So this was actually really, really special. I'm very happy to see that this deck actually performed finally up to the standards that we've been wanting to see here. And we also have Paul Cooper's second place list. This was at Emancipator. Now, this isn't playing Pran Kids. No. Mr. Paul Cooper's back on the OG engine here. We're using hat triggers to formally link climb. We have triple blue egg in here to ensure that we get some extra draw power. And we have the revival golems going in here. We also have that little TG monster down there that I see helping us and doing what we want to do. So this is basically little bit more standard of how the deck formerly used to look. Remember, they've pretty much evolved the deck with link climbing potential at this point in time to basically make up for the consistency. Just so see Paul doing something a little bit reminiscent of the older ways. It's quite interesting. That is all I have for this video, guys. Make sure you check out Hakuna My Data down below. I'm going to leave a link, that way you guys check him out. He handles all of the deck list construction for these events, and he deserves it. Alright, so go show him some love. And without further ado, I will see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day for some more cool, awesome content. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Peace. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.